Birdman is falling apart right in front of everyone, and the world is watching it happen in real time. This is not about one sudden tragedy or a shocking headline where someone passes away. This is something slower, colder, and harder to look at. A man who helped build one of the biggest empires in hip-hop history is now watching his legacy slowly crack. Lawsuits, bad decisions, broken relationships, and non-stop personal losses have all piled up. But the hardest part to watch is his physical decline. Seeing his body fail on stage has made people realize something deeper is happening. In 2025, a new wave of concern hit Birdman. This time, it wasn't about music contracts or old beefs. It was about his health, both physical and mental. Fans started noticing that something seemed off, and the videos made it impossible to ignore. The Hot Boys reunion tour kicked off in early 2025. For the first time since 2000, Birdman was back on stage with Lil Wayne, Juvenile, Turk, and BG. This should have been a happy moment for hip-hop fans, a legendary reunion. But instead of celebration, the clips that went viral felt like warning signs. In one video, Birdman is standing behind Turk during a performance. Suddenly, his head drops forward. He doesn't move, he just freezes for almost 15 seconds. No dancing, no rapping, nothing. BG has to tap him to bring him back. That moment spread all over the internet, and people were shocked. The comments exploded. Some fans said he looked like he was under the influence of lean, a dangerous drug mixture that has been connected to Southern rap culture for many years. Others said it might just be age catching up with him, pointing out that other music legends have had health scares around the same age. Birdman was 56 at the time. His team tried to calm things down. Turk said people were reading too much into it and that things get misunderstood online. BG laughed it off during an interview, saying they thought the moment was funny, but the jokes stopped when another video surfaced. In October 2025, footage from a Harlem event showed Birdman nodding off again. This time, people weren't laughing, they were worried. His team blamed exhaustion and a brutal tour schedule, but the internet wasn't convinced. Rumors spread about possible drug relapse, seizures, or serious health problems. The concern felt real. At the same time, Birdman's personal life was falling apart. In August 2024, Birdman secretly married singer Toni Braxton. Just 2 weeks later, she filed for divorce. The filing was later dismissed in January 2025, meaning they were still legally married, but both of them erased each other from social media. Toni stopped wearing her ring. Things clearly weren't okay. By October 2025, Toni Braxton spoke publicly about rumors involving strange loyalty practices and dark symbolism connected to Birdman's world. She made it clear that people had misunderstood her words. She said it wasn't about anything supernatural, it was about a toxic culture. According to her, loyalty in Birdman's organization wasn't natural, it was forced. Artists were expected to show obedience through strange behavior, matching tattoos, grown men kissing in public to show loyalty, calling Birdman daddy, flashy gifts shown online like they were required. None of it felt real. It was about control. She described it as a system that stripped artists of their independence and identity. If you questioned anything, you didn't just lose opportunities, you disappeared. She also said that environments started hurting Birdman himself. She believed the moments on stage weren't random accidents, they were signs of years of stress, pressure, and unhealthy living catching up with him. Being tied to Cash Money took a serious toll on her own health. Toni Braxton said the stress made her lupus worse and complicated her recovery from heart surgery. She said she wasn't leaving for money, she was leaving to survive. Birdman fired back. He accused her of trying to take his money and even claimed she pawned a very expensive engagement ring. The internet split in half. Some people defended Birdman as a tough boss protecting what he built. Others believed Toni was escaping a dangerous situation that had hurt many artists before her. By the end of 2025, rumors surfaced saying Birdman was involved with Toni's sister. That story was denied quickly. Her sister said she actually introduced the two and still saw Birdman around the family. That made things even more confusing. It felt like the relationship wasn't over, just hidden. All of this added to a bigger picture, a man whose empire was starting to collapse inward. To understand how Birdman got here, you have to go back to the beginning. Brian Christopher Williams was born on February 15, 1969 in New Orleans. He grew up in the Magnolia Projects, a place where life was hard and survival mattered more than dreams. Poverty was normal, violence was close, stability was rare. Birdman has never hidden where he came from. He's always said the streets raised him. By his teenage years, he was already in the streets. At 16, he was arrested on a drug charge and spent time in jail. Those experiences shaped him early. They taught him to be tough, guarded, and always on defense. In 1991, Birdman and his brother Slim started Cash Money Records. It was a small, independent label at first, focused on New Orleans music. They built the Hot Boys, Juvenile, BG, Turk, and a young Lil Wayne. Birdman met Wayne when he was just a kid with talent and hunger. By 1998, Cash Money signed a massive deal with Universal Records worth millions of dollars. The label exploded. Songs like Bling Bling took over the world. Money poured in fast, but pain didn't stop. Birdman lost his father in a car accident. That loss hardened him. He became colder and more guarded. Cash Money kept growing. Lil Wayne became a superstar. Drake and Nicki Minaj later took the label to another level. Birdman became extremely wealthy, but problems were building behind the scenes. Birdman later admitted he didn't fully understand the business side of music early on. That lack of knowledge led to serious conflicts. Artists began accusing Cash Money of unfair contracts and unpaid money. The biggest fallout was with Lil Wayne. In 2015, Lil Wayne sued Birdman for $51 million, claiming unpaid royalties. The lawsuit shattered Birdman's image of family. The case lasted years before settling. Birdman later said it was his biggest regret. Other artists like Juvenile, BG, and Manny Fresh raised similar complaints. Manny Fresh eventually left over money disputes. Beyond money, darker stories followed Birdman for years. Rumors about violence, betrayal, and street connections never fully went away. Some incidents were investigated by authorities, others were never proven, but the whispers stayed. One of the most uncomfortable moments in Birdman's past was footage of him kissing a young Lil Wayne on the lips. Birdman said it was fatherly affection. Many people felt uneasy watching it later, especially after Wayne spoke about being exposed to adult situations too early. More tragedies followed. Artists connected to Birdman were killed. His brother Terrence spent decades in prison before being released in 2024. Birdman cut him completely for cooperating with authorities. Critics called it cold. Birdman called it loyalty. Even with all this, Birdman kept moving. He stayed rich. His music catalog still makes huge money. He mentors younger artists like NBA Youngboy and believes he can create another superstar. But time is catching up. Birdman has said he regrets not going to college. He regrets how things ended with Lil Wayne. His health looks fragile. His personal life fell apart. His reputation is stained. And yet, he keeps going. The tragedy of Birdman isn't death, it's living with everything he built while standing in the ruins of how it was built. A man who achieved everything but still feels empty inside. A man who tried to fill pain with power and money, only to realize too late that it was never enough. That's the real loss. If you want more deep stories like this, tap the next video on your screen right now. We break down the stories they don't want fully explained, the moments that shape the culture, and the truth behind the headlines. Stay locked in, because the next story might change how you see everything. When you step back and look at Birdman's life, it becomes clear that this story was never just about music. It was never just about money, charts, or hit songs. This is a story about survival, power, pain, and what happens when a person never truly escapes the damage they were born into. Birdman didn't come from comfort. He came from chaos. Poverty, loss, violence, and instability shaped him long before fame ever did. Those early years taught him one main lesson: survive at all costs, trust no one, control everything, never show weakness. Those same instincts helped him win. They helped him build Cash Money records from nothing. They helped him recognize talent early. They helped him push harder than anyone else when the odds were stacked against him. Without that mindset, there might never have been Cash Money empire. There might never have been Lil Wayne as we know him. There might never have been Drake or Nicki Minaj under that banner. But the same mindset that helped Birdman rise is also what slowly pulled him apart. Because when survival turns into control, relationships suffer. When loyalty is demanded instead of earned, people break. And when fear becomes part of leadership, trust disappears. And when money becomes the only proof of success, everything else starts to feel empty. Birdman has said many times that he feels like he's already dead inside, not because he lacks success, but because he has experienced so much loss that he never fully healed from. Parents gone, family members gone, friends gone, artists he once loved